Hello and welcome to the International Humor Month Kickoff Show. My name is Andrew Tarvin. I am the Director of International Humor Month for AATH, and I am excited to share with you all of the exciting plans we have coming up for this year's celebration as we are live streaming out to Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. We might be going to other planets as well. It's possible our signal is missing one of the satellites in space and it's just traveling out there. And so perhaps in addition to this being International Humor Month, it might be Intergalactic Humor Month. Shout out to Steve Wilson right there. But thank you all so much for joining us on April 1st, which most people associate with April Fool's Day, which I get because there are some really good pranks out there for April Fool's Day. There's the, replace your coworker's computer with all cardboard. Super fun. Also requires some pretty impressive crafting skills. You can have a little bit of excitement when people open the door, which I don't know if this is a good or bad thing. This probably might lead to someone coming up and hitting you on the back pretty hard because you startled them. Or, of course, the classic stapler and Jello prank from The Office. All great options for April Fool's Day. But for us, more importantly than all of this, the shenanigans of talking about, April Fools, April 1st is also the kickoff, the start of Humor Month. And exactly 5 years and 1 day ago, I had a crazy idea. It was March 31st, 2020, right? So we're just in the start of the pandemic. And I was sitting in my 450 square foot New York City apartment with Pretzel, my wife. And as we watched the world shut down, as every live event that I had got canceled, postponed, or turned into a Zoom square, I tried to do things to fill my time. And after Pretzel and I had exhausted our Netflix queue and we had decided against learning how to bake bread, and we had spent far too many nights learning the words to the Hamilton soundtrack because we had a million things that we want to do, but there's a million things I haven't done, but just you wait. That's what I wanted to say. So after all of that, I started to get a little bit antsy. And it wasn't just because I was worried I might go into some type of stir crazy spiral. No, I got antsy because I felt like I wanted to do something to help people manage the uncertainty and fear that was swirling around us, the stress that people were dealing with, the changes that were going on. And unfortunately, I'm not a scientist, despite the fact that I have a computer science degree. And I'm not a doctor, even though I do have a DR in my name. You can see it down there. And Drew, right, there is a DR there, but I'm not a doctor. But I am a humorist. And I started wondering, how can I use humor to help? And that's when I discovered March 31st, doing a little bit of research, looking at calendars, that April is Humor Month. An entire month dedicated to humor. Now, I didn't know at the time how it had started, where it had come from. I just saw it on the calendar. And I decided on March 31st that April I was going to launch 30 Days of Humor, a daily series of virtual events, blog posts, challenges, and videos designed to spread some much needed levity at the time. And it was last minute, chaotic, and definitely far from perfect, but it was also incredibly meaningful. And ever since then, every single year, we at Humor That Works have celebrated Humor Month with some type of celebration. And this year, I'm incredibly excited because 2025 is going to be one of our best years yet, because we're doing it together in partnership with AATH, the Association for Applied and Therapeutic Humor, a group that I've been a proud member of since 2012 when I was first starting my humor journey. And I'm honored to have been selected as the Director of International Humor Month for AATH, where in 2025, we are going to be celebrating once again with 30 Days of Humor. That's right. Every single day in the month of April, we're going to have some type of celebration, recognition, practice, whatever have you, about this wonderful skill of humor. Because a lot has changed since 2020. TikTok really blew up during that time. Then it got banned for a day, and then it's back again. NFTs were all the rage for about a week, if you remember that. And AI has seemingly changed and taken over the world at this point. Taken over just about everything, I think, except for me. I'm real as far as I can tell. Of course, a sufficiently advanced AI might also believe that to be true about themselves. So who can say we actually fully know? Personally, in that time, I've changed a lot as well. I got married in a virtual wedding late in 2020. I had a baby, and I have an 1,800-day streak on Duolingo learning Spanish, pero no puedo hablarlo. Right? So it's still not actually working. So a lot has changed since 2020, but a lot has also stayed the same. We still feel overwhelmed. We're still navigating uncertainty. We are still giving people handshakes when fist bumps are clearly the far superior form of greeting. I don't know why we're doing that, but it's true that just as in 2020 and pretty much every year of human existence, 2025, we're in a world where we could use a little bit more joy, a little bit more connection, a little bit more stress relief. And humor is a skill that can help you with all of those things and so much more. And it's one that anyone can develop. And this month, we're making it easier than ever to do that, because the focus of Humor Month is threefold. First, we want to spread the word about the power of humor, not just for entertainment, but how it applies in areas beyond the stage, how it applies in business, in education, in healthcare, and in life. Second, we want to spotlight the people who are already having a positive impact on the world, the humor professionals and practitioners that are doing and using humor in a really interesting way. And finally, we want to help anyone build their skill of humor. And that includes you, the person listening to this right now, drinking a cup of coffee, or it's lunchtime for some of you. So maybe you right there, if you are eating a panini right now, then that means you definitely have to participate in humor. Even if you're not eating a panini, you should definitely participate in humor anyway. And that's what this month is all about. Now, there's an incredible history and backstory to Humor Month, which we're going to be diving deeper into later this month in a special Laughbox podcast episode with Steve Wilson. The brief history is that it was started by Larry Wilde, carried forward and expanded by Steve Wilson. And this year, AATH is honored to continue that mission, to take it even further, to continue to hold the mantle and be the steward for years to come on Humor Month. Now, I mentioned AATH a few times, said it was the Association for Applied and Therapeutic Humor. Some of you are probably fully aware of it. You might be a member. You might be a member on the Facebook group or in the LinkedIn group, or follow on YouTube, or maybe you go to the conferences, etc. Other of you might be like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Maybe you're talking about AATH as the acrobatic and thyroid hipsters. That's a terrible AATH acronym, right? But no, to help us understand what humor or what AATH actually is, I am honored and pleased that joining us for our Humor Kickoff show, we have the current president of AATH, Roberta Gold, who I'm bringing to our screen now. Roberta, how are you on this April 1st?
I love April 1st. Thank you, Drew. I just absolutely love being part of Humor Month, part of AATH. It has been just, I love April.
Exactly. It's a beautiful time to be focused on humor, right? And so for people watching that are not so familiar with AATH, what is it? What's the mission of the organization?
Well, our mission is to elevate and nourish the human spirit through the intentional use of humor and laughter. And we really stress the intention on that, because to use humor intentionally means that you're focusing on it, you're present about it, you're in the moment of trying to nourish somebody else's spirit through helping them to laugh and have a great day.
Absolutely. I love that focus of what you just shared on the intention component, because as humorist, you can't guarantee necessarily if humor is going to land, but you can ensure that you're going to intend to use humor, right? You don't know if it's always going to be successful or if it's going to make the person laugh, but you know that you're at least trying. So I love that aspect of intention, and that it's not just, hey, it's going to happen by happenstance, I hope. But no, how do we bring that more intentionally into the world? That's fantastic. And so how does AATH manifest itself in that? In what ways do you support that mission?
We have a lot of ways. Our biggest way, we have a Humor Academy, which is a 3-year program that teaches you the components of humor, the basics of it, the practicality of it, and the send you off and being a leader in it. So it's a 3-year program that is just phenomenal. I've been there since the inception, and I love it. It's just we also have people from all over the world. We have all walks of people that are part of our organization. We have people like you and I who are speakers. I'm an author. We have authors. We have people in medicine. We have therapists. We have people that have utilized humor to overcome big challenges in their lives, and they found AATH, and we support them. And there are just people that want to find out how to laugh more and be around people who enjoy laughing and enjoy promoting humor and laughter in the world.
Yeah, I love it. And that's right. If you go through the 3-year program, you get to add 3 letters to the end of your name. That's right. You become a CHP, which stands for
Certified Humor Professional.
That's right. I like it. So if
Well,
you
here in
enjoy
California,
going and getting those letters, you can become that CHP. And I know I've been involved with AATH since 2012, and what I've heard from a lot of people when they join the community as they come back to it, because one of the other big things that you do is a yearly conference, right? And
yes,
when you get together and meet, the thing that I hear commonly from people is like, oh, I've found my tribe. I've found my group of people, because it's such a warm, positive group to go into. Like, with all of the divisiveness that we see around the world and all those other things, AATH, more so than most any other group that I'm a part of, has this feeling of like that we're not covering that type of stuff. We're not looking at the things that divide us. We're looking at this passion and the skill of humor as a way to unite us. So, okay, so you've got the academy. Can you speak a little bit about the conference? Because that's also coming up before too long.
yes, it's going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina this year, and it is running May 1st through 4th. So yeah, we're going to be there soon. It's very exciting. It's a great place to be. And we are going to have speakers that are going to be speaking on all different topics: humor in the brain, humor. We have humor research that is going on. We have the practical applications of humor, and we have people we have an international presence. So we're going to have some international speakers at our conference showing how humor is used around the world.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the big distinctions that we're really emphasizing this year, is that it is International Humor Month, right? Because humor is a thing that transcends language and cultures and groups. It's something that I often say, is that to humor is to human. It's one of the things that do separate us from all of the AI bots and ChatGPTs and other things that are out there. And I love this kind of focus on international, which is what we're also going to be doing during Humor Month. So I know AATH has also podcasts, which we're going to be referencing throughout the month. They've got virtual meetups from different groups that happen. It's a fantastic organization. You can find out more about it at aath.org. And I'm curious, Roberta, so this is the first year that AATH is serving as a steward of Humor Month. And I'm curious, what was the conversation, or why do you feel like AATH is kind of the perfect, in my eyes, kind of the perfect group to carry on this beautiful tradition started by Larry Wilde, continued on by Steve Wilson, of this tradition of Humor Month?
It just fits perfectly. I mean, we are basically the powerhouses of humor and laughter. We have the biggest brains and the best resources that you can find on our website. I've been a member for over 30 years. This is an organization that's been near and dear to my heart. The people that are in it are stewards of this. That's, we're doing it. We're living and breathing humor and laughter, and healthy humor and laughter. So if you're going to do April Fool's pranks today, try to be kind.
Exactly. Yeah. Have positive pranks today. And as you go forward, learn other forms of humor that you can bring in. Been in it for 30 years. I'm impressed they let a 5-year-old in, right? I'm assuming that's about the aim,
No, I'm
right?
102, Drew.
Oh, that's what it is. You started in your 70s. That's amazing. Well, one of the goals that we have about Humor Month is to spotlight some of the incredible humor professionals that are out there, which includes you, Roberta. And while I have you here, I thought I would ask you a few questions about the work that you specifically do. Because, right, I think that's what's really compelling and powerful about spotlighting people's work is that for some people, they can listen to this and be like, oh, Roberta's amazing. I should go and research and do what she does, which you absolutely should. Other people, they like, oh, interesting. I have a similar background or a similar passion or similar skill set. Maybe I could learn from her how I can, model myself over kind of what she has done. So I'm curious, in what ways do you apply humor?
Um, I'm kind of naturally silly, so I don't really change much in what environment I'm in. I spill over my words. I'm pretty able to laugh at myself pretty easily, and I have a lot of reasons to do that. But I started my program, Laughter for the Health of It. Wow, in '83. And I did it because I'm a recreation therapist and I was working in mental health institutions. And I saw how a laugh changed us. I wasn't the therapist and they weren't the patient. When we laughed together, we bonded, we were equal. And I realized everybody needs to laugh a little bit more. Everybody has challenges in their lives. Everybody needs, some way to laugh more. So I started my program, Laughter for the Health of It. And I've been speaking about it and for all these years. And I do a newsletter that I send out on Fridays, and I have books and programs, free and paid,
Yeah.
that people can be part of my world. But it's basically, I like to teach people how to utilize humor and laughter when the comedian goes home, how to still find the funny, how to still be able to find humor in the most bizarre times of your life. And I have used it from, at funerals to people that are going through cancer, to my own challenges, physically, to people that just want to have more fun every day in their lives. And it's all about attitude and looking at life in a different way, because we can go through life and we can say, oh no, or we can go through life and we can say, oh well.
Oh, well, I like it. Yes, and
And
I like that. And so, you talked about, yeah, Laughter for the Health of It, which is a fantastic name to begin with, and an incredible kind of mindset, right? The idea of like, yeah, that it's not just, it's not humor and levity in our life isn't just a thing we go and do at a comedy club or a thing we sit and watch if we're watching, The Office or, Ted Lasso or whatever on TV. It can be a way of being, a way of approaching problems or solving, resolving challenges, etc. And so, as you mentioned, you've got 3 books out there. You got a weekly newsletter. People can sign up for resources and stuff. You also have the Sanity Savers coaching group. And I'm curious, what are some of the biggest insights or takeaways that you find people taking with, like, in that group? What are the ways that are like, if people are starting to think about, okay, this is interesting, how could this, potentially apply in their life?
well, it's a very practical group, and we meet every week. And basically, everybody has that time when we start going down that negativity pit, and you start to go, oh no, life is challenging. People in the United States right now are going through it a lot more every day. But when you go, you don't have to stay there. So I give
Yeah.
practical tips on how you can flip the switch in your brain, how you can find joy, and how you can find things to make you smile and laugh, even when you're in the midst of something that seems pretty horrific.
Yeah.
So there are simple things we can do, and some of them, Drew, are just like just laughing for no reason. Sometimes we just need to release that emotion, and when we do, we can flip the happy hormones, I call them, in our brain, so that we can get everything going in a more positive way, and then we can actually deal with our challenges with a clearer mind.
Yeah, I love it. I want to make sure that I bring up your website, because if you do Google Roberta Gold, you might also find a jeweler. I can't even say that word. Someone who does jewelry. That's the word I'm looking for. And that is one thing that you can find. But the Roberta Gold you're looking for is this one here at LAF4U. .com. So you can find out more about what she's specifically up to. And that, again, that's part of our goal with Humor Month, is to spotlight individual people so that you can say, hey, absolutely, AATH is an organization that I should get involved with, because there's a bunch of really cool people there and I can learn this skill. And for the individuals that you really vibe with, connect with, follow what it is that they're doing, and reach out, connect, say hello, because it's an incredible opportunity to meet some really, really cool people. Well, Roberta, thank you so much for joining us, sharing us a little bit more about what's going on with AATH, your service as president of AATH as well, and the fun things that we're going to be doing throughout the rest of the month. Thanks for joining.
Thank you, Andrew. And I'm so happy that we chose you to direct our first International Humor Month with AATH. Thank you so much, Drew.
Yeah, I am honored to do it. So thank you, Roberta. And again, like I said, go to Laugh4U to find out more about some of the things that Roberto specifically was talking about. Shout out to those of you in the comments here as well. We've got Lisa saying Happy Humor Month. What a great way to greet people, I think, on this lovely day. We've also got Bea in Hungary, who did a humor first aid. Ooh, that's amazing. I want to learn more about this humor first aid kit that we're talking about. What a great kind of idea. I'm guessing it's a box, but instead of then you open it up and you got gauzes out there, you got ha-has in there or something. So that's wonderful. And we have, Nee on Facebook saying it's an amazing medicine. We're going to be keeping you posted on the plans. That's a perfect segue for what we're talking about, because people are like, okay, what is Humor Month exactly? What are you actually going to do for it? So that's what we're going to talk about next. So shout out to all of those of you in the comments as well. So what is happening this month? Well, we've got 30 days of content and events. These are all completely free, all open to the public. You do not have to be a member of AATH or Humor That Works or any of these other organizations. Our goal is to try to spread humor far and wide. Each one of these days has a different theme or a challenge. Like on Thursdays, for example, we're going to be talking about humor in action, spotlighting how humor applies across business, education, healthcare, and in life. In particular, this Thursday, we're going to be talking about humor in business. So we're going to select, and we're curating the top 5, or at least 5 incredible TEDx talks that will change how you approach your work. And what's beautiful about getting to curate TEDx talks, as I've been going through this process, is that these talks are not only insightful, they're hilarious. So they're the perfect way to spend a little bit of time. If you're in between meetings or something like that, or you're making coffee in the morning, you're watching throw on a TEDx talk, learn a little bit about how humor applies in whatever topic we're focused on that particular Thursday. And you're going to be smarter and also a little bit lighter for it. Fridays, we've got special Laughbox episodes, which Laughbox is the podcast of AATH, which has been around for years and hundreds of episodes at this point. We've got some fantastic episodes coming up for this month, including Dr. Sam Shea coming up a little bit later this Friday. There's an interview with me talking a little bit more about Humor Month. So if you want to learn a little bit of that backstory, you can. And towards the end of the month, a fantastic interview with Steve Wilson, where you learn a little bit more about the history of Humor Month, how it got started, and what are some of the things that have happened in the past, including, I recently discovered this, it's been a clue in a crossword puzzle where I was like, Humor Month, and the answer was April, which is wonderful. We're also going to be doing and sharing research, something that Roberta alluded to, because we're not just making this stuff up. There's a tremendous amount of research about the value of using humor in the workplace. And one of the things that we share at Humor That Works often is what we call the 30 benefits of humor, right? Which includes some impressive things like improving productivity, increasing the acceptance of ideas, encouraging collaboration. Number 12 is a good one. I just don't remember. What is number 12 again? Oh, right. It's to improve memory retention. Okay, that's a terrible joke, right? But there's so much, not just these benefits, but so much more. And there's so much great research out there. This is something that we're doing in partnership with the Illuminatis. Illuminatis is one of the groups, special interest groups within AATH that is dedicated to research. And so some of those members are helping us to curate some really fantastic research on topics like humor and personal relationships. How does it actually help you, whether that is dating or one-on-one relationships with family members, friends, etc.? So some really cool research that we're going to showcase that on Sunday, this particular Sunday. Later in the month, we've got topics like therapeutic clowning, humor and religion, and improvisation as well. So you're going to want to read that, especially if you're the person like, sounds good in theory, but what do the facts say? Well, that's what the research is going to show. Speaking of groups, we're also partnering with a few other groups throughout the month. On Mondays, we'll be partnering with Chin for a couple of Mondays where we're going to be talking about storytelling and creative writing. Chin is a phenomenal group where it's basically humor practitioners. You go there, you can present a problem or challenge that you're having, and they noodle on it, right? And it gives you an opportunity to then use humor to actually solve a problem or think through something. So it's a very strategic use of humor, which is certainly in my wheelhouse as an engineer, something that I appreciate and very much enjoy. And we're also going to have a special session of laughter yoga in the middle of the month to celebrate a World Moment of Laughter Day, International Moment of Laughter Day. And then finally, at the end of the month, we are, through the Humor Zoomers group, going to be doing a talent show. So if you got a special talent, if you got some humor skills that you want to get out there and share, you are certainly welcome to. And you can sign up on the website, which I'll share a little bit more about in a moment. One of our biggest goals of Humor Month is to create more levity in the world. And that's why throughout the month, we're going to be having impact challenges. And these are simple tasks that anyone can do, no matter your skill level of humor, whether you are someone who does stand-up comedy regularly, or you are worried that you never have made anyone laugh ever. That's okay, right? These are simple challenges that can help you to create more impact in the world, because that's our goal. How do we increase the amount of levity in the world going around us? And they can be simple things. So for example, on the 5th, April 5th, our first Impact Challenge Day, we're just going to encourage you to try to smile at 10 strangers and see what the impact is. See how you feel, see how the strangers feel, see if that leads to connections or it doesn't, right? Even if it's just a smile, as Victor Borg said, the shortest distance between two people is a smile. So it can be a great way to just say, like, hey, we're humans again. So these simple activities are just a way to share a little bit more levity. We're going to be giving people the opportunity. You can share examples of this on social media, or you can post about it in the AATH Facebook group, which gives you a chance to talk to other people like, hey, how did it go? What did you learn? What was your experience? Phenomenal way to create some connection and impact this April. And last but not least, we're also going to be announcing and celebrating the 5th, sometimes annual Humor Awards. That's right. We don't necessarily do it every single year, but we've done it 5 times so far. And this is about celebrating the humor change makers out there with the live award show. That's going to be back on these same live stream channels, wherever you're watching right now. You can join us again on April 30th. But throughout the month, you have the opportunity to nominate individuals and organizations who have made an incredible humor impact and deserve to be recognized. And so our guest panel of judges is going to be selecting from the finalists to actually award those actual awards for 2025. Now, if you're thinking like, if you're one of those people that's kind of like, I think I'm funny, I'm just not so sure my spouse agrees or the people at work agree, that's completely okay, because you can absolutely nominate yourself, right? Because I think I'm funny at times, right? I love puns and wordplay. My 3.5-year-old disagrees. She likes like games like hide and seek and the hokey pokey. She does not care for my puns. And so for the puns, I'd have to nominate myself in that category. So certainly feel free to nominate other people, organizations, and yourself for the wonderful impact and humor that you are having. So if you're like, hey, that sounds great, I want to nominate myself, or I want to join up for the talent show, or I want to sign up for laughter yoga, how do I do that? Well, the most important thing that you can do to get involved is to go to humormonth.com and sign up to receive daily notifications, right? So if you go to the humormonth.com website, it's going to redirect you. You go to AATH, and then down at the bottom, you're going to see, and let me remove my name if I can. Right there where it says stay up to date on Humor Month activities, that little orange button. If you click that, you enter your email address and your name, and you'll get daily notifications every single day of what's going on with a direct link to whatever it is that is happening. So you don't have to fumble around, you don't have to search for something, etc. You just get it right there in your inbox. So be sure to sign up for those daily notifications if you haven't already. Also on the website, we've got a calendar of the different themes of the days and a longer list of those particular activities, and we'll be updating those with links as we go along, right? So humormonth.com is your single most important research for that. And you're definitely going to want to do that because as you have hopefully heard and seen from the things that we've talked about that we're doing, you're very much going to be like Aerosmith and you don't want to miss a thing, right? So if you want to participate, certainly do that with the daily challenges and events. Join the AATH Facebook group if you haven't already, because that's a great place to be able to share some stories, experiences, results. And as a reminder, this is completely free and completely open to anyone that would like to join. You don't have to be a member of AATH or Human That Works or any of these other organizations. And hopefully you get so inspired, you enjoy it so much that you want to stick around after the month is over. And that's why we're doing 30 days of humor, is that this can help you to develop that habit. If you do each of the challenges, this isn't just a thing that's going to last for April 2025 or even the following months afterwards. This could be the start of your lifelong daily humor habit that can have an absolute positive impact on the world. If you want to learn more about the humor habit, you certainly read that book from AATH member Paul Osenkopf. So definitely check that out as well. As you're going along, if you decide to post on social media, don't forget to include the hashtag International Humor Month. And again, don't forget to nominate someone for the Humor Award. So that's the plan, right? As we're kind of showcasing and sharing, humor isn't just for comedians. It's for teachers, healthcare workers, engineers, parents, leaders, introverts like myself, everyone. As I mentioned earlier, humor is to human. And so it is something that you can absolutely do. If you do want to stay up to date on what we've got going on, then be sure to go to humormonth.com. If you're on your phone, you can also scan the QR code, or if you got the phone next to you, you can scan the QR code on your phone to go there, sign up for the daily notifications, follow the website to see what it is that we are doing. Because we all have the power to make the world a little bit lighter. And just like in 2020, it is desperately needed. Unlike in 2020, I'm not going to go stir crazy in the apartment where it's like, I did some weird things for 2020 in April, I'll admit there. But yeah, like, no. Instead, focus on what's really going to be really, really fun for this year, 2025. And be sure to join us there. So thank you all to sharing, for joining and coming, and for joining. I'm just reading some of the comments here. Yeah, the values of Neo asked, hey, what are the values of AATH? They're about positivity, humor. I don't know the exact words, but in general, they're about humor, positivity, and creating a positive impact on the world. That's how we think about humor, as this positive form of levity. And hopefully, as Carly Jane mentioned, hopefully we're not quite to the point that we are crying uncontrollably. We give you a month reprieve, but then hopefully some strategies there. And that's the beautiful thing, I think, about humor, is that I don't think of, humor as this thing that says, try to pretend like everything is amazing when it's not. That can be toxic positivity, which can be just as bad as constant negativity. But humor rather is a strategy that says, wherever my baseline is, how do I make it a little bit better? So if things are good, how do I make it feel great? Or if things suck, how do I make things suck just a little bit less? That's the goal of humor. It's this intentional skill that you can use to improve nearly any situation. We're not saying it's perfect every single part of the time, but the applications of it are tremendous. And that's why I'm really excited about Humor Month, because it means that you can go out and learn a lot of different ways that you're like, I never even knew that was a thing. For example, I didn't know about the tremendous physiological benefits of humor for a long time. It's like, oh yeah, if I laugh, yeah, it feels nice to laugh. But oh, did you know it increases blood flow through the body, that it relaxes muscles? In fact, the laughter, the relaxed muscle feeling that you get after laughing a lot lasts for 45 minutes, up to 45 minutes after the laughter has subsided. When I learned that, I realized like, oh wait, if I just find something to laugh at every hour of the day, then that means that I'm going to feel more relaxed throughout the entire day. And that helped to inform a strategy at Humor That Works that we call Drive One Smile Per Hour. How can I do one thing each hour of the day that brings a smile to my face or the face of someone else? It develops a humor habit, adds a little bit more of that intentionality that Roberta talked about, And also it keeps it so that you feel more relaxed and at ease or in control of things throughout the day. So thank you all so much for coming. Shout out to, as Mary Kay say, for sharing the plans for humor. This is just the beginning. So be sure to follow us at humormonth.com. And we'll see you throughout the month in our events on social media and at the very end of the month when we celebrate with the award show. And of course, there is still time to sign up for the AATH conference taking place starting on May 1st. You can learn more about all of those details at aath.org. Enjoy the rest